So this is the Ecotop electric scooter. It's got a ton of amazing features. One of the things is that you can actually scan an app that will give you a lot of different options as far as cruise control. You can lock the scooter, you can unlock the scooter. So let's jump into the box and just show you what comes in the box. And then we'll talk a little bit about the scooter. We'll go on some test runs. We'll talk about voltage. We'll talk about charging. We'll talk about the motor. We'll talk about brakes. We'll talk about everything. So I'm just going to turn this all the way upside down. There shouldn't be a lot to put together. It does come in a padded box, obviously, and you'll see here. I generally like to keep the box for 60 days just in case there's something wrong. This is most likely going to be your charging cable. So it's your charging cable, your extender, an owner's manual with a QR code here to download the app or the instructions. And then an Allen wrench, different sizes, and a couple screws. So there are a couple things that we're going to have to put together. It's got a kickstand right here that I can already see. Again, this is upside down already. One of the things that I really like about this electric bike as opposed to other ones, and to be honest, we've had other ones, is these do not have air in the wheels. So they are airless wheels, and I'll go into details about what that means and why that's important. This is a really nice build. I can just tell by the welding, I can tell by the metal, all the wiring is coated. So as you can tell, maybe you can't tell, but we're in cold weather. Right now it's cold weather season where we're at. You've got this foldable option right here, which locks, which we'll get into more detail. And then we are going to put on the handlebars. And so I will show you how to do that. Nice, it's got a locking mechanism here for the latch. So I'll go into details too when we get everything put together. Show you that, but super tough there. Okay, let me jump into the actual guide and see. I think we're just gonna have a couple screws with an Allen wrench on the steering or on the handlebars to screw in so we get those tight. As always, you want to use a helmet, right? Obviously, when we do our riding. Looking at the app here, there's a lot of cool things that you can do in the app as far as charging. It has a nighttime mode. There's a light on it, which we'll show you when we get to the nighttime ride. So the charging port is going to be right along the base here. Yep, right here is the charging port. So if I just hold this up, right here is a charging port. So nice and easy. And then it kind of has this weather cover that you can put on so you don't get any moisture in there. It actually goes down into the, which is nice. Okay. Let's put these handlebars on. Okay. Actually bring this down to ground level so I can work with it a little bit easier. Okay. So there's 2 Allen wrench bolts on the front and then 2 on the back. So there's going to be 4 total. And what I was reading in the instruction manual, and I'll just explain this really quick, is they're colored in blue or painted blue. And it said that you want to retighten them every so often. So I wouldn't necessarily every ride. I would say every couple weeks maybe. Kind of like anything that just with moving parts that's moving quite a bit, is you'll want to check it, right? So like once a month I check the bolts on my lawnmower or something like that. So you would want to check these pretty often. Now either they've given me extra screws or we're going to be doing something else. I don't love Allen wrenches, but I don't love using a drill on smaller equipment because it usually sometimes will strip the screws. So and this is your brake pad right here, which actually goes in as a nice little. Well, one thing you want to do is you want to learn from me is make sure that you put it in the right way. Apologies. You were all probably watching saying, hey, what is going on? There we go. So we've got our left hand is the brake and our right thumb is going to be basically the gas or the motor. This will go up to 19 miles per hour, depending on the rider and how much the rider weighs. The charge time is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. So we'll talk about specifics, and I'll be reading off a piece of paper because I want to make sure that everybody understands all of the different parts to this. The battery is a 36 volt, 10.4 amp Samsung battery. It'll go up to 30 miles on a single full charge. So that's good for a daily commute to work, to school, for enjoyment, whatever you're going to use it for. And again, we have double screws on both sides. So I'll probably fast forward this part, to be honest. Okay, let's jump into some of the details. So this is an airless tire. I mentioned that earlier, but the nice thing about an airless tire is they don't pop, right? So as far as your tires go, you've got reflective on both sides. So this is the front tire here. There's the kickstand that we mentioned there. There's your back brakes, your reflector right here. As well as you can see, this has lights, and I'll show you how to turn those on. Here's your actual just kind of board right here where you're set it, and it has a nice non-grip plastic here, or a non-slip plastic with these little bumps here that are thicker in the middle. Your charging port is right under here. We showed you that when we were putting that together. So here's your brake line, which goes all the way up. And then we have this nice quick release system here, which I will show you when we get to the other side. And then as we're coming up, here you have a bell, which just rings here. This can be used as a phone clip or something like that. So there's a screw in here that you can untighten. I have not put anything there. This is the brakes right here on the left-hand side. And you can see when we press on the brakes, we're getting a blinking, basically brake light on the back there. So here's your miles per hour. And we've got the power button already on. It came with a full charge. So when we hit that power button again, you can see that the front light turns on. I'll show you at nighttime when we're going on a ride. And our tail light goes on. So those are both on at the same time. And then this is your acceleration. And so you can see it kind of moving. I'm on the kickstand right now, so I don't want to go. But this is your acceleration. And then both of the handlebars have this kind of non-slip grip on it too. So when we get to the other side, this is where we have, you come down, there's your brake line that goes all the way through. This is where you have the quick release. So this is where you pull this up here, and then you pull this up here and then push this portion back, and then this all just folds down. And then you can turn the handlebar so you can fit this into your car, the trunk, an SUV. Again, there's your reflective lights on this side, here, and here. So we're going to give you a couple demo rides. We're going to do one during the daytime, one at nighttime, just so you can see what it looks like. And I'll show you how it fits in 3 or 4 different vehicles. But overall, super duper stoked about this. The next thing that we'll do is we're actually going to go into the app, and I'll show you what the app can do and what you can control with the app, just to give you a quick kind of preview. You can remotely unlock your scooter. You can adjust the lighting. You can activate cruise control. You can do customized ride modes. You can monitor battery levels, and you can track your mileage all from your smartphone. So it's super nice with the locking and unlocking, right? So even if you have this locked up, you could lock it so nobody else could ride it until you get out to the vehicle, which is something that we're super stoked about because our kids or teenagers might be riding this to school. We talked about the motor, but I didn't tell you how many wattages it is. It's 350 watts brushless motor, and it goes in gradients of 20%. So you don't go straight to the full thing. So you just use, it's nice for your acceleration when you're going from basically level to level. So we'll jump into the app now, and I'll show you everything that's in the app. So you can connect the scooter via Bluetooth once you've downloaded the app. So we showed you earlier that you can just scan that QR code, and you can see right here that it'll tell you the battery amount left that you have, the speed that you're going, whether it's locked or unlocked. You heard that beeping sound. That was me locking the scooter, and now you can see when I unlock it, you can hear that again, that it's unlocking the scooter. You can turn on the headlight, start mode, you can turn that off, you can change the modes, eco mode, walk mode, drive mode. There's a bunch of different modes. It'll give you an estimated range based on your battery. It'll give you your total mileage and then your single mileage. It'll also give you a location of where everything is at. You can actually rename your scooter here if you want to. So this is where I could go into the app and rename the scooter right here when I click on the pencil. So I'm just going to rename this here. Like that. I won't put in the location. But you can see all of this information here that you have Cruise control will keep the speed at the same speed. So you can actually control this before you go on the ride. While you're on the ride, I don't necessarily recommend it. Riding a scooter with one hand's not always amazing. But it's connected through Bluetooth. And so once you disconnect the Bluetooth, then you're disconnected. And when you connect again, all of that information will come back. So pretty useful. Okay, so a couple things that we talked about earlier is the light. You can see that the light turns on during the daytime. Not as effective. The tail light is on as well. And when you're unboxing, each one of these comes with a little kind of cover on it, so you want to make sure that you have those off. Again, the bell is up here. So I'm going to turn off the light, and you don't really have to push off to go. You just click on your acceleration right here, and I'm going to go up and around the circle and come back. And when we talked about weightage, I don't think I ever talked about that. So it's 120 kilograms or 265 pounds. So I'm 190 pounds, 195 pounds, depending on the season. And this is a smooth ride just for me. So here we go. So when we talked about the battery earlier, we talked about that kind of 20% increments as you're going. The brakes are really smooth. I mean, you can stop on, not necessarily on a dime, but you can stop really, really fast like this. And then the acceleration goes really quick. So right now we're already up to 15 miles an hour, 19 miles an hour. Right now coming in hot and just stopping just like that. So super smooth ride. I was not wearing a helmet. Anytime we have our kids or myself, normally if I'm going on a ride where there's going to be cars, I would wear a helmet. We again are going to do a nighttime ride just to show you what it looks like with the lights on. And then we'll show you some footage of putting it in the back of a vehicle so you can just fold it up and put it where it needs to go. So we talked about the quick release right here. You're going to pull up, and then this just folds down like this. And locks into place right here. So there's a little hook. And then you're good to go. It just fits right in the back of the vehicle here. So the beautiful thing is with this little latch right here in the back for the handlebars is you can just carry it like this. Just tell me when to go.
Go.
So we talked about earlier is you've got this night light here that goes basically this headlamp here that you can see in front of you while you're riding, and then you also have this running brake light that also blinks when you put on the brake. So I'm just going to do a quick drive around really quick and you can kind of see it at nighttime. So the nice thing is at nighttime, and depending on the mode that you're in, is you've got this light, and again we talked about earlier is you just have the power on button here. It's the same as your overall power on, so the lights go on and off. So we're going to give you our final thoughts on this here in a few minutes. So the Etikop scooter, the electric scooter, right, for adults is an absolute banger. There's three things that I want to finish off that I really, really love about this. Number one, right, is the app. Everything controls in there. You can lock it down, you can unlock it. You can set cruise control, you can change the speeds, you can do everything straight from your phone. That's the first one. The second one that I really, really love is the ability to fold up and latch, and so you can put it in the trunk of your car, the back of your van, back of your truck. You can carry it super, super easy once you've got that latched. And the third thing that I really, really like, because we've had other scooters and they always seem to let us down in this area, is the airless tires, right? So we've had scooters in the past that you have to pump them up, or they're rubber and they get skidded and different things like that, and so it doesn't really run really well. I love these because there's no air and they are heavy duty, so they're going to go over rocks and sand and dirt and all that kind of stuff. So highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars for me. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.